My guest is a man leading Brisbane through a time of exciting chapters. He's into bigger picture city plans, revitalisation and all things beautiful Brisbane. But today, we're curious about the person behind the title, his early years, first jobs and what keeps him grounded while leading a city of millions. Today, we're getting personal, and it is my pleasure to introduce Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner.
Thanks, Belle. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
This is different and it's good. I like this.
We're going to get personal. Tell me
I like
all
it
your
so far, but I'll tell you how it goes later.
Tell me all your deepest, darkest. First of all, where did you grow up? So what part of Brisbane? I'm assuming you're a Brisbane boy?
Yeah. So born in Brisbane at the Women's Hospital, which got demolished, the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital. So it was the old version of that. My parents were living at Holland Park at the time. So I was born into the suburb of Holland Park and have always lived on the south side of Brisbane. And so moved into various different suburbs around the south side. So there was Holland Park, Mount Gravatt East, 8 Mile Plains, Wishart, and my parents live at Wishart still, and Nina and I live at Carindale at the moment. So all around that sort of, it's not too far from each other, those suburbs are all within a certain part of Brisbane. So
funny, I was a north side girl, so I was born in Darwin, but bred on the north side of Brisbane. So Ferny Hills, Ferny Grove, Mitchelton, all of those areas. So you would know this side of town.
Cross the river.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. I crossed the river when I was probably about 27.
Yeah. Look, I love all of Brisbane, but yeah, the south side just, it feels like home.
I think it's where you grow up.
Yeah.
I think, the north side of Brisbane, I must say, when I drive there, it does feel like home. If I'm visiting friends, there's something in my heart. It's like that Ed Sheeran song, but it feels like I'm home. Over this side of town, over the river, like you say, it's beautiful. And I think home is where your family is, right?
Well, technically, I was born on the north side.
Oh, yes.
It's
Hurston.
on the north side of the river. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that covers both angles.
Absolutely. And so you were born in Brisbane.
Yep. Mum and Dad, who are still with us, going strong. They're both in their 80s, and I won't get specific about age. And they also, on a regular basis, come over and help us with the kids. So Nina and I, obviously, both incredibly busy. So they're, in their 80s. With 4 very rambunctious kids, but it's been fantastic to have them in our lives all the way through. But so Dad originally migrated from Germany when he was 23. So he arrived in this country as a 23-year-old.
Not speaking English?
No, he couldn't speak English. He didn't know anyone here, didn't have any money. But, the town that he was from in Germany, Dortmund, had been absolutely devastated during the Second World War. He was just a young boy while all that was happening. But as he grew up, he didn't see a lot of opportunity in his hometown, just like many parts of Europe. And so a lot of people after the Second World War, it was a pretty grim time. And so he obviously had a sense of adventure. And it would take a lot just to start a new life at the age of 23 without, not with your friends.
On his own.
Yeah. So he jumped on board a ship and
3 months
made his way out. Yeah, it took a while. Made his way out here and genuinely started a new life. So it's the migrant story that we've all heard.
Yeah.
Mum was born here, and she was born in Holland Park as well. So they met down in Sydney. Mum was down in Sydney for work. And Dad had done various jobs in different parts of Australia, but they were at the German club one night in Sydney, and that's how they met. And so the rest is history. But they moved up here. They started a family. They had 3 children. Their very first child, sad story, died of sudden infant death syndrome, and so just less than a year old, and they don't really know what the cause was.
Horrific.
And it was absolute tragedy and that was their first child. So,
was that a boy or a girl?
A boy. And then my sister Marika came along, and then I came along, so I'm the youngest. They ran a cleaning business, and so the family business was a suburban cleaning business. Mum did all of the administration and the books and the accounting and the invoicing. Dad was on the tools, so it was just the 2 of them. And the only other employees in their business were my sister and I.
I was about to say Marika and you, Adrian.
Yeah, that's right. So Marika and I, during the school holidays and on weekends as well, working in the business. And it was good grounding because that kind of business is hard work. And if Dad ever got sick, for example, no money came in.
Yeah.
There was one time when a couple of times when he fell off a ladder, couldn't work for, a period of time. No money came in.
Could have
at
lost the
all.
contract
Yeah,
even.
yeah, exactly. So things got tight there on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
And they worked hard. Eventually, they gave me the opportunity down the track whether I wanted to take over that business and run it. It wasn't exactly what I imagined I would do, but it gave me some great opportunities to earn some money during...
Schrinner and Son.
Yeah, that's right, money during my teenage years. So all the way through my teenage years, I worked in the business.
Yeah. So that was your first job. That's one of my questions.
That was the
what
first
was your
job,
first
yeah.
job? So you were working in the family business.
And so all kinds of cleaning, including window cleaning, high pressure cleaning, also interior cleaning as well. So
is your house spick and span?
no.
4 kids? I'd be impressed.
We get it there and it stays about that for 5 minutes maybe, and then, chaos descends.
Oh,
but
I know
that's
that
just
drill.
having 4 young kids.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. And so you would have went to, Holland Park Primary?
No. So I went to a school called Christian Outreach College, which is now called City Point College. It's on Wecker Road in Carindale.
Yes.
And so our kids go there as well. So that's also the school that Nina went to.
Wow.
But we didn't really have much to do with each other at school.
Not the same grade?
No.
Yeah.
Nina's 5 years younger.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So we knew each other, but didn't have too much to do with each other at school. So it was just a coincidence we went to the same school. So yeah, that's a little bit about my childhood and teenage years, I guess.
At school, were you the good boy? Were you the shy boy, the popular boy? Were you the class clown?
Well, I was the shy boy, definitely. It was one of the people that was always afraid to do the presentations and to do public speaking, and that wasn't my thing. I wasn't bad at school in terms of marks. Like I was, probably a B+ to an A- student, not exceptionally.
Yeah, but
at
quite
the top,
achiever.
Quite achiever. But my goal at school was always to join the Air Force and be an Air Force pilot. That was all I wanted to do.
Is that from Top Gun?
Well, that did help, yeah. So I was born in 1977.
Yeah.
And, just at that critical time during the 80s, you know.
So you're my age.
Top Gun came out.
You're my age. You're 1 year older than me.
Yeah, Top Gun came out. And that did have something to do with it. But I think that there was a whole generation of people that watched Top Gun and that. But that was always an interest to me. And so the other thing that I did as a teenager was I learned to fly.
Oh.
And so joined the Air Force Cadets. And they have a program there where you can learn to fly through the Air Force Cadets. And so as I was working for my dad and mum, earning some money, I actually put that money into flying lessons. And so what they did is they had a deal where the instructors were free. So that was a volunteer role, but you had to pay for the fuel effectively.
Which would be very expensive.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it was good compared to learning commercially.
So could you fly a plane before you could drive a car?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So I started flying when I was 15 and went solo when I was 16. So entirely off by myself when I was 16. And shortly after that, I could take some passengers up as well. So I was the kid that was able to take other people from school up flying.
Wow.
So, and I did take 1 or 2 friends up, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like Cessna? Like a little...
It was a Piper Tomahawk, which is a single-engine, 2-seater aircraft, quite small.
So cool.
And one of the aircraft that I learnt to fly in is actually still around at the moment. It's at Archfield Aerodrome. It's still there. It's
Unreal.
Yeah.
And so would you be able to fly a plane now?
I need quite a bit of a refresher.
So it's been a long
while.
time, huh?
Yeah. So basically the way it works is if you don't fly every 90 days, then you need to go back and do some more training and refresh your qualifications.
Yeah.
And so it lapses quite quickly. And that's good because that's, that's a safety thing.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. So we've got a quiet achiever. We can fly a plane before, we can drive a car. We've been working since we were young. So you already had some excellent life experience in you. Now tell me, role models in your life as you were growing up?
Well, definitely my parents. So, they have always been the biggest role models in my life. And I think there's a combination of things there. So my dad, just that sense of adventure that I often think what it would have been like to make that decision to go to an entirely new country when you're 23. That's a big sort of leap of faith. It's a big risk that you're taking. And I think that's where I got my, I don't have a fear of heights or flying or anything like that. Like I don't mind taking a few risks, and things generally don't scare me. I'm
Living
I'm
life on the wild side.
I'm up for some exciting things like that. But my mother as well, the best mother you could ever hope for, and just having both my parents around and seeing them work in the business, they've always been the two most important role models. My mum didn't have an easy life as well when she was young, and her mother died when she was very young. And so it was just her father that was looking after three kids. And he was also a shift worker at the Brisbane airport. He used to work for Ansett. And so it was quite challenging for mum to grow up without a mum and then have a dad that was working at night and sleeping during the day. And that wasn't easy. And then losing their first child as well, incredibly difficult for the family.
Yeah.
So there's been challenges and hardships, but that's the sort of thing that builds character. And so the character that my parents have always had, they've been wonderful role models.
So is that the kind of father you are with your children? So you and Nina with the children recreating what you had growing up?
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Like that would be my ambition and Nina's ambition.
Well, I've met your children, and I'm not sure if rambunctious would be the word that I would use for them.
Spirited?
No, they were absolutely perfectly behaved every time I've met them.
Oh, okay. Well, you just saw them in public.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I have never seen them in private.
Well, look, they're often pretty well behaved in public.
Yeah.
And that's something we've tried to instill in them. I guess we try and bring them along to things on the weekend for work. So that's one of the decisions we've deliberately made to try and make sure we're present in their lives and they're part of it. Because,
Otherwise, they'd never see their dad.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. On the weekends, I'd be doing things and, at the time when they're wanting to spend some time.
Yeah. And I imagine the life of a Lord Mayor would be 7 days a week. There's no 9 till 5 for your role. So I think if the kids can enjoy those weekend events and be with you guys as a family, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, you never ever get enough time. You always want more time with them.
Yeah.
Definitely. But we have employed strategies to try and make sure that they're involved. So, for example, I go to things at night. There's a lot of nighttime functions. If possible, I pop in at dinner time to see the kids and put them to, or try to put them to bed. It's like whack-a-mole. You put one to bed and then another one pops up.
Yeah.
And,
Do they still run to you at the door when you get home?
Yeah. And they always guilt me as well. They're like, "Oh, you're not going out again, are you, Daddy? And why are you always working?"
Yeah, that's one thing I know my husband misses, the run to the door. They used to get so excited. Now they're older. Nobody runs to the door anymore.
It is the best thing, when they're excited to see you, because that's only a stage.
Yes.
So having them involved is good. We're trying to build character in the kids as well, but also some basic things. Just some decent manners as well, and sometimes that's lacking these days. And so, hopefully, you saw that they were polite and generally well behaved.
Yeah.
But they are they've got big personalities. All four of them have these big personalities. And
Well, look at their mum and their dad. They're definitely going
I
to
blame
have.
Nina.
Now, tell me, what got you involved in politics? Were you part of the Young Liberals?
Yeah. So when I left school, I went to the Air Force. So I did join the Royal Australian Air Force. So I went straight from year 12. There was no break there. It was literally finished school in November.
Straight in.
1 year, and then into the Air Force in January.
Do they do like Kapuka?
Yeah, so I went to the Defence Force Academy in
Okay.
Canberra. And so the first stage of that is basic military training, which is all of the stuff that takes you out of your comfort zone and builds a team. And so the whole point of that is you've got to work together. We've all got to help each other. You've got to snap to attention and follow orders. You've got to keep your room clean, your bed made, your shoes polished. You've got to learn drill.
Wow.
You've got to learn some of those basic military skills. And so
Chain of command.
yeah, all of that. So that was the first start. But it was good because I was just 17 when I joined, and it got me out of home real quick, and you build some independence. It was a good way to just kickstart the independence, being able to take care of yourself.
So that would have been in 97.
So, well, actually, no, 1995. So I left school in 94.
Oh, yes.
And then I stayed in for a couple of years. Ultimately, when you go to the Defence Force Academy, you're on a particular path to go in a direction within the military. So they'll accept you in as a particular role, which you'll do your military training, you'll do your degree, and then you'll go into a particular role. So always wanted to be a pilot. I mentioned that before. I didn't get accepted in as a pilot. So I just missed out. But I thought, I'm going to join the Air Force anyway and see if there's an opportunity that comes up effectively to switch over and get into that. That didn't eventuate. And so I was accepted in to do Air Force intelligence. And that was not something I picked. That was something that they recommended because they do a whole range of testing.
Personality
testing and like where the strengths and weaknesses. And they're like, we think the type of mind that you have would be suited to that. And so I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. So I accepted it. And as I said, I retained that hope that I could transfer across and become a pilot. But that wasn't to be. So, yeah, after a couple of years in the Air Force, it was a good time. I have no regrets about doing it. And like I said, it kickstarted the independence.
And you learned so much. So 2 years in the Air Force?
Yeah, 2 years in the Air Force.
And then what?
And then I did my final year of university at the University of Queensland. So why politics? When you're becoming an intelligence officer, they recommend that you study international relations and politics. So you understand the sort of geopolitical situation and that sort of stuff. So that's what I started studying. And that then sparked my interest in politics. And so when I left the Air Force, I had an idea that it was something in that field that I was interested in, but I sort of just thought, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see where this leads. And so I finished my degree and looked around for some work opportunities. And then by accident, a political job came up.
So were you part of any party at this point?
No.
No affiliation?
No. Saw it advertised in the paper.
Yeah.
And it was a campaign-related role.
Local council?
No, it was actually at Liberal Party headquarters.
There you go, yeah.
And anyway, so I interviewed for this job and they said, what experience do you have? And I said, none. And they said, are you a member of the party? I said, no. And they're like, look, how about you volunteer for a while and then we'll see how this goes. And so I'm like, okay, I'll volunteer. And so I started volunteering, and then within a very short period of time, they're like, okay, I'm going to give you a job.
This guy knows how to work.
Well, learning, but willing to learn, and obviously enthusiastic. And I guess, so it was kind of by accident. I saw an ad in the paper.
This is an
went for this
incredible
job, didn't get the
story.
job, volunteered in the job, and then got the job.
Yeah.
And so never in my wildest dreams had the ambition to be a politician, though. I'm naturally a quiet person. Believe it or not, I'm not someone who likes to be at the front and put myself forward. I was always happy to be involved and to support others. And so that's how it started off. And I guess, if you can summarize, a political career, it was one thing led to another.
Yeah.
Opportunities came up. And because maybe my dad's instilling of that, why don't you take a go, have a go, take a risk.
Yeah.
Then I took opportunities as they came up.
So an opportunity came up for you to run for local council?
Yeah.
Which ward did you run in?
So it was, at the time, it was the ward of East Brisbane. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was seen as basically a relatively safe Labor electorate.
Yeah.
And so that opportunity came up. there was no expectation that I would win. I didn't have an expectation that I would win, but I put everything into it.
Yeah. Did you door knock? Did you do
yeah,
all
yeah,
of the
like
things? Yeah, so you
there
really
was
tried hard.
yeah, it was almost 2 years of work
Campaign.
of campaigning. And that would involve me like working during the day, and then, for example, I'd go letterbox shopping at night. So have a day job, then I'd do this at night and on the weekends. Yeah, a lot of hard slog that was put into it, but no expectation that I would win.
Yeah. And you middle 20s at that time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then election day came around, and the results came in, and I was more shocked than anyone else, and it was 250 votes in it.
Wow.
I lost that election by 250 votes.
Did you? Did you?
And
Okay.
so that was a good thing, because I think losing does build character. If you get everything you want straight away, not necessarily the best thing from a character building point of view. But that then motivated me to do it again. I'm like, wow, that was okay. I want to do this again. And so lost by 250 votes. And it's interesting. The person that I ran against, we might have been from opposing parties, but I actually got on with her really well. And sadly, she passed away a few years ago. And I had a great deal of respect for her and her family. Her name was Catherine Birmingham, and really genuinely good person. And she was good as well. She wasn't. She didn't run a negative campaign against me or anything like that. So it was a good process. And
And was Nina by your side for this?
well, Nina was around. She actually helped out on that election.
But you were not partners.
No, we're just friends. And so the following year, an opportunity came up when there was a vacancy in council. And so a sitting councillor had run for the state parliament and been elected. There was a vacancy, and I'm like, I'll put my hand up for that one. So that's how it happened, basically.
Wow. And what ward was that?
Chandler Ward, which is the Carindale area where I live.
Fantastic.
But it's always been in the eastern suburbs of Brisbane that I've...
And was it a
been.
shock?
What part?
Being a city councillor, and there's no book to teach you what to do and what you're responsible for and how you do it and how you navigate council or how you navigate any new job. Was it tough?
Yeah, it always is, absolutely. And it is a shock. Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, you work really hard for it,
but you don't actually know what it is.
When you get it, you're like, okay, right, okay, and then reality sets in, and elected representative jobs, I don't know, maybe to some people on the outside they might seem glamorous and
you're hugging babies and you're cutting ribbons.
It's actually it's not like that. It is hard slog.
Yeah.
And people over the years as well, they'll be increasingly forward in having a crack if they don't think you're doing something, or I guess it's the same if you're in any profession these days. Like people won't hold back, and there's high expectations. But having said that, I think the thing that I've always loved about local council is just the ability to actually do some things which at other levels of government are much harder to achieve. So it's some very practical things. And so, it might be something as simple as upgrading a local playground or improving a park, things like that. An intersection upgrade for safety that you've been involved with, those sort of things. You can actually personally be involved in making that happen.
And people don't understand what goes behind the scenes or budgets. People don't understand. They just think, oh, goodness, I want this done and I've made a complaint to council or state or federal or whatever, and they just assume that there's money to do these things. But behind the scenes, I can imagine what goes on and the planning and, I think everybody's got their ideas.
Well, there's always more things to do than the money will stretch effectively. Like there's more things to do than the money will pay for that's available.
So was Graham Quirk your Lord Mayor when you were the councillor?
Well, no, I've served with two other Lord Mayors. So Graham Quirk and Campbell Newman. So when I first became a councillor, Campbell was the Lord Mayor.
Yeah.
And then subsequent to that, it was Graham Quirk. And so, sort of served in council
And when were your sights set for Lord Mayor? Or were they?
They weren't.
They were not.
weren't. And that's the thing. I don't know. There's a line I've heard or a saying I've heard in the past that sometimes in politics, if someone desperately wants a particular position, it's almost like that should rule them out from that position. It's kind of like, yeah, if you are entirely ambitious, that's not always a good thing either. And so it really didn't cross my mind for a long period of time. But as I've sort of suggested before, I've always been someone that, okay, an opportunity comes up, let's consider this. Should I give it a go? And effectively, that's what happened when Graham Quirk decided he would retire. It was a very short window, and it was sort of, okay, I've got to make a decision. Am I going to put my hand up for
Did
this?
he come to you?
He did, yeah. He gave me the last minute sort of, this is happening, and and so there wasn't a long period to consider it. But I was the deputy mayor at the time, which is why he told me. So it was like, oh, by the way, you're going to see in the Courier Mail tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I'm retiring.
Oh, wow. And he was a very popular Lord Mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. And, respected by all sides of politics as well, and just a true gentleman, and did wonderful things.
Yeah.
And so, so it was very short notice. And, in the lead up to that, there was speculation about, whether he would retire at some stage. But as elected representatives often do, they don't give any hints away about what's going to happen. So, and he was like that. He didn't give any hints away. So the relatively short period, Nina and I had some, I guess, soul searching to do. And then it was like, okay, we're going to give this a go.
And did you have children at that point, or just one? Maybe two?
Yeah, no, we had, just trying to think, what year was that?
1.5.
No, all 4 kids by that time.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So our youngest came along in 2018.
Yeah.
And that happened in 2019. So, all 4 kids, 4
You
quite
have
young kids.
a brave wife.
Oh, she's amazing.
You've
met her.
She is amazing.
Yep.
She is the one that can, you are really, really fantastic in front of the cameras. When I hear you speak and when I see you, I know you say you're shy and it doesn't come natural, but you are very good at it. Nina is next level.
She is, yeah.
I've seen her speak at events. I've had her at an event in the past, and people will come up to me afterwards and go, I had no idea who that person was, but wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because if you give Nina a prepared speech,
Yeah.
she won't do anywhere near as well as if she actually just speaks from the heart.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, that's so natural. She's authentic. She speaks from the heart. She tells you what she really thinks. She shares so much of herself when she speaks as well.
And there's no fluff.
Yeah, no, exactly. So you get what you see is what you get. But yeah, give her a prepared speech, and she'll get really stressed, and she'll get nervous about it. And but yeah, when she talks authentically, that's the real magic. That's when the real Nina comes out.
So Adrian, your career spanning so far, what is your most favourite achievement?
Well, it's interesting. I guess the tendency would be to think, okay, well, what is it? Something that I've been involved in building or something like that? It's actually not that. I'd say the thing that has given the most satisfaction to be involved with was being able to step up when the city was going through hardship and
the floods.
There's been
COVID?
a number of times, and it's not that you think that's an achievement. It's more like I was able to be of assistance at a time when the city needs it, and try and bring people together and try and make sure that their council supported them, the people of Brisbane, I mean. And so within 12 months of becoming the mayor, we had the pandemic. And, once again, you look back and you think, oh, was it really that bad? But yeah, we were in uncharted waters at the time. No one knew what to expect. And then we had all these lockdowns and the way that we work changed. So there was a lot of uncertainty. And there was also talk at the time of mass unemployment. You know, people thought they were going to lose their jobs. And thankfully, some government support came in and most people were able to keep their jobs. But that was a big question mark at the time. And so the pandemic came first, and then a couple of years after that, then the 2022 floods, which were absolutely devastating. And, you know, right here in this area, this part of Brisbane, dramatically affected, and so many other parts of the city. 24,000 properties got flooded, which is just huge and heartbreaking to see. But, you know, at that time, there was a lot of responsibility in the role that I was in, but you didn't think about that. You just had to step up and do what you could each day to try and respond and support and work with the other levels of government to make sure we responded. Then, obviously, we had a cyclone earlier this year, which thankfully it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yes, that was very stressful.
It was.
That
once
was
again,
because I think it's because of the floods. Like I would get to work throughout the flooding, going different back streets to get to work, and on my way home, I would drive through the streets that had flooded, and I would just cry. It was horrific, and it was like you say, the suburbs around here were decimated, and then the cyclone warnings. I just felt some PTSD.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was horrific.
Well, me too. It was like, surely it's not happening again.
No.
And, you know, it like I said, it could have been a lot worse if it was a higher category cyclone that came through. And we were fortunate in many ways, but there was significant damage and significant impact. And so, you know, there were hundreds of homes in Brisbane that got flooded at that time. Yeah. And the damage bill at the council level was over $70 million as well.
For the cyclone?
From the cyclone. And that's not including all of the private property damage as well, so people's homes.
So you would say your greatest achievement in your heart would be supporting Brisbane through those hardships. That's the one.
Just being in a position to be there to respond and to do what we can. To make sure we're supporting the community. And I think the thing is, decision-making during that time is very different to normal periods of time. And so every day we're having a disaster management meeting. Every day we're making decisions. And those decisions don't go through the normal processes where, okay, you want to make a decision, you go through a council meeting, we all have a debate on it. There's no time for any of that. And so effectively, there's like emergency powers that are in place, and it's accepted that you need to step up and make decisions. And so under state legislation, the responsibility for disaster management rests with local councils with the support of state and federal government. And so, you know, QCS, effectively, yes, and other agencies support us, but you've got to make decisions quickly, and you don't always have all of the information as well. Things are changing quickly. Yeah. And
it's uncharted.
Yeah, it's uncharted.
Completely.
And because you're making quick decisions, because the situation demands it and people demand it, you never quite know whether you're making the right decisions, but you've got to go with the information that you have, go with your gut. And, it's quite a remarkable situation to be in. But, you know, to be involved in that, I think that's, for me, you can build things, you can build bridges or metros, but that for me was the part where I felt like was making a real difference at a time when people needed it, and it was certainly part of that. And does that mean it was the perfect response? No, of course not. There's no such thing as the perfect response to a disaster.
But look at the lessons that would have been learned, and then the things that would have been implemented in the back end now for next time, because you have some kind of charter.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So when we went through the flood, one of the things we were absolutely determined to do is to have an independent review of everything that happened, so that we could learn from the situation and we could be better prepared next time. And And we did that not only in the 22 floods or after the 22 floods, but also after the cyclone just recently. And so two independent reviews, and those reviews came up with recommendations. We've implemented those recommendations. But, yeah, that was probably, I think, the most significant thing.
Yeah.
That I've been
So something fun now. My last two questions for you. What is your favourite memory of a quirky request from a constituent?
Ooh, okay. Two things.
Yeah.
There's probably two of them. One is I got a letter from a dog, including like a paw print on the bottom of the letter. And,
Tell me it was for a dog park opening.
Yes, it was. So the dog was writing to me asking for a dog park.
Oh.
And so
Did you give him a dog park?
Absolutely. How can you refuse a dog? And so, like we get lots of letters from residents about dog parks and wanting dog parks or improvements to dog parks, but I've never had a letter from a dog before. No. And so I was so tickled pink to get that letter that the same day I received it, I wrote a response, and I went around and hand delivered the response to the address with a little bag of schmackos.
Oh, that is so cute.
Put them in the letterbox. And, we ended up doing that dog park, which was good. Then the other one, which was, you get a lot of interesting and strange requests or things that are maybe challenging. This one that sticks in my mind was there was a resident that had a real bee in their bonnet about tradies or painters that spilled paint on the road, right? And, you see occasionally some paint spills around there.
Yeah.
And this person was adamant that I needed to find the people that spilled the paint and make them pay for cleaning it up. And I was sort of...
So the request wasn't, can you clean it up? It was, can you please reprimand
that's right.
the person who accidentally drove along with a paint tin pouring on the road?
And so I remember, I sort of responded and said, look, I'm not sure how you expect me to find these people. I don't know who did it. We don't necessarily have cameras on every section of road, but they were adamant that I must do this because
this is your responsibility.
Yeah, so it got me thinking about, okay, well, how would I even do that? And then it could be a genuine accident.
Yeah.
I don't think people deliberately do that.
It also sounds like a police issue to me.
Exactly. So that was one that it sort of stumped me a bit. I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that.
Yeah.
And even if I could,
you needed to be Inspector Gadget with all of his gadgets.
Yeah. But that person, it sort of became almost an obsession for them. They would go around identifying sections of road around Brisbane where there'd been paint spilled and then write to me about it, demanding that I do something.
So people do get funny bees in their bonnet. I used to work for council and I once had a lady come in and she'd seen a UFO above her house in Wacol, but she was in her late 70s, and she was quite distressed because she felt as though she was getting on in life and her husband had passed away and she wanted to tell somebody. She didn't want to leave this earth without people knowing. So local council, and she goes. It was actually an incredible tale.
You hear some stories.
Yeah.
You do hear some stories.
But I think it's sometimes with people, the bees in their bonnet may not particularly be about the issues. It's something that's going on in their life behind the scenes.
Well,
possibly.
And that is another thing that I learned being a local councillor.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll get a request from someone or a phone call, and they'll get really worked up about something.
Yeah.
I think the type of issue that it is, and the response that they're having to it are not proportional. I'm not saying that they don't have a right to raise it. Of course they do, but and then you realise everyone at any time has other things going on in their life. And there was one situation where I remember, someone was being quite nasty, and I couldn't understand why they were being so nasty. And chatting to them on the phone, and then at the end of the call, they admitted that they'd just suffered a tragedy in their life. And for me, I'm like, okay.
And part of your job will be customer service. Part of your job will be because you work for the people and the listening ear, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You never know what people are going through, and there's always something. And so,
Yeah.
it's just being patient and understanding with people, and also, yeah, when you think, oh, this is a bit unfair, there could be some other things happening as well.
Exactly. Very last question for you. I ask all of my guests this,
Yeah.
Mr. Adrian Schrinner. Have you ever seen a ghost or a UFO in your lifetime? I'll just give you the stats.
Yeah.
2 have seen UFOs, probably 70% ghosts now. I've not seen either, just for the record.
No, I haven't.
Never.
And look, you would think working in City Hall, maybe there might be some
wondered that.
ghosts in there, but no, I've never seen a ghost. And look, I wish I had seen a
Because
UFO.
City Hall's old.
but-
I was there last night for a show.
Yeah.
There should be ghosts in
Well,
there.
apparently there are, but yeah, no, they've never come near my office. And
There you have it. City Hall is
sorry
empty
to
of
disappoint.
ghosts. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope our
Thanks,
listeners
Bill.
have learned some things about you and your amazing wife and all of the incredible things you do for the city, and your father and your mum, and the way that you were raised. Just amazing.
No, I've been very fortunate to have the parents I have and the wife that I've got. And yeah, I'm happy.
I love it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Adrian.